Hi guys, welcome back from Carly at the Herbathocry. It is the 6th of January and the middle of the mildest winter I've remembered for a while. But we had a very eventful and prolific 2019. We found some great new finds and made some wonderful new products, learned a lot and got it into practice. So today we are out looking for one of my favorite plants. However, it is one of great controversy because it does have two lookalikes. So while we are out looking for the yarrow, we will also look at the differences between it and its two lookalikes, the wild carrot and of course the poisonous hemlock. I am specifically looking for the yarrow leaves today for two purposes. I will dry them out and make a tea for digestive issues and a styptic powder to stop bleeding. Once again, I must make it very clear, I am not a doctor, I am not medically trained, and I am not an ethnobotanist. I am someone who has spent 10 years researching, owns some very good guidebooks, and with the help of the guys at Wild Edibles, have found my way through. And as I practice what my husband refers to as extreme foraging, while being in no possession of survival instincts, I get lots of cuts and would need lots of plasters. So I need this styptic powder. I also really need it to help my digestion as I was rather naughty over Christmas. It is believed that yarrow was used as far back as 1200 AD for soldiers as a styptic powder or clotting agent. This would stop bleeding so you didn't bleed out and didn't need a plaster. Identification of this plant is obviously a touchy subject because when it's just at the leaf stage, the Queen's Anne's lace and the hemlock look very similar. The leaves of the yarrow are quite different. They're a lot wispier and fern-like, so I still feel more confident identifying that in winter. However, I was lucky enough to find this specimen complete with flowers and the yarrow leaves and the stalk, which is quite dry now, so you can't really feel the hairs. And as you can see, the root is completely different to Queen's Anne's lace, which has more of a carrot-like taproot than the wispy advantageous ones this one has. So for those of you who are still uncertain, I strongly advise waiting till spring, summer, when these three should be flowering for easy identification. The Queen's Anne's lace has one solid umbel that comes from the top of the stem and is made up of tiny little delicate flowers from each of those, and you normally find the blood spot in the middle, which is believed to be a drop of Queen Anne's blood while she was sewing and pricked her finger. The poison hemlock, however, is made up of lots of little of these umbels, and they all come from single stems off the main stem, as you can see in this one. And these are tiny little delicate flowers with like a yellowy clear globule in the middle. And this is completely different to the yarrow flower, which has 4 to 5 like 3-lobed little white petals around, and it has a cluster of little flowers in the middle. These also grow off stems of the main stem. However, these branch off or spider in many different directions, and as you can see, the flowers are clearly different to the other two. Once you've got accustomed with these plants and how they grow, and you're not identifying just by the leaves, although there is still a very clear difference between the yarrow versus the other two, the poison hemlock and the wild carrot, which are quite similar, and I would really look into those. But as you can see, the stems are also quite different. So here we have the yarrow, now we have the Queen's Anne's lace, and they're quite green, and then we go over to the poison hemlock, which is very jaggedy, not straight, has some red in it along the stem. They're all kind of furry, so that as well I wouldn't use as an identifier. But now I've got my leaves, which I correctly identified, and I am going to dry these out for a tea to help my digestion. I just use one of the kids' old toy hangers. It's perfect for me. Pop them in thinly, not this. I just stuffed them in last night, and then I'm going to dry them, have a lovely tea, and a styptic powder for the next time I cut myself. Thank you guys for coming back to the Herbothicary. I hope you found this helpful.